Hey everybody, sorry it's been a little bit since I checked in. I've been keeping busy. Weather cooled down a little bit last few days. As you can see, the setting's a little different. I've been working to try and get this project done. But today is the 4th of July, so getting ready to go out and be social. I've been trying to do a little more of that too. I've been, making some new positive relationships in my life and trying to rekindle some old ones that I let go. Yeah, it's been going pretty good. Got a few things coming up in the next couple days. I got invited out. So it should be a good weekend. Just moving right along. And then in the downtime, trying to get this project wrapped up. While I've been, moving around trying to get things done, trying to get some of this stuff figured out, I've also been, reflecting and thinking about quite a few things. And I know I've talked about it before, but I didn't really go too much in depth about your inner child. Yeah, you gotta nurse them back to life, and you gotta get them healthy. That's extremely important if you want to live a happy, purposeful life. That's where all your joy and wonderment and curiosity come from. And that's what you're going to need to get through this process. And, with things going on in my own life recently and coming across certain individuals with other mental health issues, almost everything goes back to that, to things that happened to you in your childhood. And some people, close up into a shell. Some people become absolute monsters. Some people turn into the most loving, gentle people you'd ever know. And what's weird is the same thing could have happened to all three. It just depends on the personality of the person it happened to. Over the years, I've exchanged childhood stories with a few people, And again, I've come across people that had stories very similar to mine and very different outlooks on the world around them. Although a few were the ones that guided me to be where I'm at now. So again, that's kind of the catch-22 of it is you don't know. Not really. Sometimes until it's too late. But yeah, again, you got to get away from that. And again, I have been open here. I struggle with it too. You got to get out of that victim mentality. Yes, bad things happen to us. Yes, we are not responsible for the things that happen to us. But yes, we are 100% responsible for how we let it affect us and how we treat everybody else in the world around us. Again, you can't do better until you know better. But once you know better, you got to start doing better. Too many people out here, fully willing, ready, and able to hurt one another just to get a step ahead or an extra, 50 cents in their name or like stupid. Like, why are we treating each other this way over stupid, trivial stuff? That's a serious question that I have. I look at the world around me and I see how people are treating one another, and everybody's complaining about how miserable they are. Well, this is why. You feel miserable because you are miserable. Relationships are horrible in the world right now. Nobody wants to be honest or loyal. Everybody's looking at, I'm going to get you before you get me. It seems to be everybody's mentality. Sometimes I worry about the future of humanity for that reason, because it feels like there's less and less, even though there's more people in the world, there's less and less humanity every day, it feels like. But then you get people like me and others that try to make a difference, but then, again, the way this world is designed, that's how they shut us up, is they don't actually shut us up, shut our mouths, they shut everybody else's ears. Nobody else has the time or the attention span to listen to somebody go through the things like I do. But you have to take the time. You have to sit with yourself. You have to ask yourself the hard questions. And you have to figure out the right answers. If you really want to make the most out of your potential, and that's in anything. If you're looking for, wealth success, popularity success, peace success, that's my goal. No matter what, it all rounds into you got to do the work. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, no other way around it. You got to work for anything you want. Just don't let them turn you into a slave to do it. This world could be an absolutely much better place if people just took more time to be self-aware. The last couple days as I've started to socialize more, and I'm going to get out in the next couple days, I'm realizing, there are less and less people that are self-aware. They don't even realize what they're doing, let alone why they're doing it, and let alone acknowledging others around them. And again, it's not going to get better until some of us, get in therapy. Or if you can. I know, resources are a little strained right now, but, pick up a self-help book. Like I say, you always get in the Bible. Proverbs is a great place to start. A lot of wisdom there. A lot of suggestions on how to be a better person. That's all throughout the Bible, but Proverbs is my go-to. Well, that and the letters of the New Testament, because there's a lot of good stuff in there, too. The problem is that too many people let fear operate instead of love. Love empowers. Love strengthens. Fear shrinks. It makes you draw back and not do the things that you should be doing. And then it has you doing things you shouldn't be doing. People are afraid to be alone. People are afraid to look at themselves. People are afraid to change. Too much fear in the world. And it's funny because once you get over the fear, because I'm just as guilty. I was an NPC, just like the ones I complain about. Years ago. I ran the rat race like everybody else, but I didn't have a choice but to face my fear. That was that time with the depression when I was completely alone. Yes, there were people around me that cared for me, but they didn't know how to help me. They didn't know what to do for me. And then, of course, there were the ones that backed away because it was a time of need. Fortunately, I've cleared out my cabinet of all those kind of people. But once you start going in, you start getting less and less afraid of who you really are, because you get to know yourself better. You get more comfortable with yourself. you know, a lot of people are afraid to do the inner work because they know that they're going to find things they don't like, and they'd rather not deal with it. And it's unfortunate because you're only hurting yourself by staying that way. You're only detracting from your own life, by letting those things get to you that way, to control you. There's a lot of things you got to learn to... I hate the expression get over it, because that's not really what you want to do, but you want to get through it. You want to get through it to the point where you feel what needs to be felt, but then release it. Because there's too many people that hold on to stuff, for whatever reason, but it's like you're trying to, rope climb barbed wire. How some people cling so tightly to bad habits and bad defense mechanisms. It's crazy. You really got to stop and look and think sometimes, like, hey, is this trained response I'm having, is it helpful or is it hurtful? Is it getting me ahead or is it hurting me in some way? Is it holding me back? A lot of people, we are our own worst enemies. And that's why. And again, if you heal yourself, because again, a lot of people work on projection rather than reflection. And the better you are on the inside, the better you're going to reflect things. Literally, the only reason not to do self-improvement is cowardice. And that's a harsh truth. Another reminder about forgiveness. Forgiveness is for you, not for the people that hurt you. That's one of those things that helps you let go. But forgiveness does not mean, that they still get to be a part of your life. I can't mess with anybody who can't take accountability. I can't do it. I don't want to be around those people, and I don't tolerate those people. That's why it's so hard to rebuild a social circle in this day and age. But, again, I'm hopeful. I've already made a couple new friends. But again, if you want to be happy, you got to cultivate and nurture the life that you want. You have to live intentionally. Again, I know I repeat myself on a lot of these points, but that's because I'm trying to drill it into you. Like, there's little things that really got to hit home. Again, I repeat, because you got to teach yourself good habits. I do it to myself internally. A lot of our behavioral problems are just bad habits. Seriously, the stuff we picked up at some point, it was a survival mechanism, and we just clung on to it. So one of the best things you can teach yourself is to let go. Let go of the things that hurt you. Sometimes it's ideas, sometimes it's people, sometimes it's habits, sometimes it's places. Whatever it is, if it's not propelling you forward, let it go. That is the best advice that I can give. And on that note, it's almost time for my ride to get here. I'm going to go out and have fun at a barbecue. I hope everybody, please stay safe today. If you're out celebrating the holiday, please don't drink and drive. Be responsible. You can still have a good time and be responsible. All right. Try not to hurt anybody. I know summer's upon us, and everybody wants to go in party mode for the extended weekend, and that's fine. You do have to let loose every once in a while. Again, that's that rejuvenating that inner child. Just don't let them be mean. Don't let them be cranky. Don't let them lash out at people. Alright, so keep taking care of yourself. Try and help take care of each other. And I'll catch you in the next one.